You want to be as direct and to the point as possible. If people ask, then you can explain. It's like, well, why are we now raising rates? And they say, hey, because we're online, we have to pay for online teaching tools. We have to renovate the studio for cleanliness and sanitation costs and all this other stuff. And then you could give them a list if they ask. Most people won't ask.
You know what, my main question was, I actually even asked in the forum about it, about the tuition increase. I haven't raised my rates in the last 8 years. Oh. And it's because, like, you know, I don't know, I kind of like so busy with other stuff. I don't know. I always felt like, and now that I renovated the place, I can show a little bit of like around. Yeah. This is my reception desk. I don't know if you can see it well. So this is yeah, that's the waiting area. I'm gonna turn like the light on. So I did the social distancing. I don't know if you can see it. So, and these are like my lesson rooms. Oh
yeah, those are nice.
So I put like little plexiglass here. So now like the student is here and then the teacher is here.
Nice, okay.
And the other rooms look exactly like that. So, you know, I put a lot of money into this. You know, we hired contractors because, like, you know, before we couldn't go back to the way it was before. It was like small. One of the rooms we paid for, they rebuilt it completely. So I decided to raise the tuitions, but now I'm afraid that, like, I have some families who've been us for years, and like with the coronavirus, how they're gonna take it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I had the same thing. They're the same worries. So I'm raising my tuition. I raised my tuition in January. So before January, because I teach a lot of groups and private lessons. I do both. So my deluxe hour rotational lessons, which I see 3 students. I'm not sure if you've heard of 20-20-20 lessons.
We just have private lessons.
Right. But the way, no, that's totally fine. So I do the 20-20-20. So I see 3 students in an hour, and they were paying $100 each.
I'm sorry. You mean like back to back, right? Is that what you're saying?
At the same time, 3 kids in one class, and they rotate stations. So one station is with the instructor for 20 minutes. Another station is a music theory station. So there's either a packet that they complete or theory game on the iPad that they play with the piano, stuff like that. And the other one is a sight reading station. So they either go through our sight reading book, or they play on Piano Maestro, which is an app that connects to the piano, and they have free subscription to that at home, so they can practice at home as well. So they get an hour of practice time, and we get to cover a lot more stuff and get into the theory rather than in the 30-minute lesson. I felt like I was always rushed for time. And I can consolidate 3 students into 1 hour instead of just 2. So I grow my student base by 50% by doing that. I charge them less than I would if it was a full hour of private lesson, but I make more money because I'm seeing 3 kids. So I'm making 30 to 50% more revenue per class. So it worked out. It was like a win-win-win. It was like I win, the student wins, the parent wins, everybody wins. So I really like that model. And when I made that change, I kept the pricing relatively low because I didn't know how things were going to go. But after doing it for about a year, I decided to raise my rates when I moved in here for new students to $135. But I kept my old students grandfathered in until August. And I just sent out the email saying that, hey, rates are going to go up. These are the new rates that everyone's paying. And I only had one person kind of push back a little bit and be like, hey, well, we might not be able to do it because we work for the state. The state's cutting 10% off our paychecks, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I totally get it. And I have some safeguards in place for like financing scholarship and stuff like that for those who have hardships. So what I ended up doing with that one person who pushed back is they get to stay on that rate. And then we revisit it monthly until their wages go back up, and then we move them to the correct rate.
Okay, so maybe I should do something like that. Like those who are saying that's too much for them, just keep their old rates.
Or if you don't like the student and the parents are a hassle to deal with, they're a pain in the butt, let them go.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, because you'll shrink, you'll save time, but you'll still make more money because
Yeah.
the increased rates all across the board are going to pay more for that person and then more. And then you open up a spot for a new student who you would rather work with.
Right.
So what's your rates now and what are they going to be?
So right now we have, I don't know, it's probably like mine is different because of like we live in different states. So in Massachusetts, I am charging $35 per half hour lesson and $50 per 45 minutes and 70 if a student, 65 if a student takes 1 hour. It's like if it's one student.
Okay.
So it's still like low in our area. Like my competitor charges 40 per, I think it's even 42 per half an hour. And then like something like, he charges a lot more. He does. So I want to raise it to $5, like, you know, just.
So $40 a half hour, 55 for 45 and 70 for the hour. Okay.
Right. So I'm thinking that some families who have, we don't do sibling discounts.
Yep.
I don't know, like, you know.
No, because they're taking up 2 spots. So
exactly right.
You're losing money like that. No, you have to think like a business owner. And I know like we all have the big hearts of teachers. Like we really love and care for our students, and we want as many in, and we want to provide the best we can. But then at the other end of it, it's like, we got to make our money. So it's like, if you have 2 kids, it's like, so you got to pay twice as much. Like what I've done for that, do you charge a registration fee for people to enroll?
You know what, I used to charge like a one-time $25 registration fee. But then it was like when somebody signs up, you know, it's like all that, I didn't want to scare away people. So especially with online now, we started waiving those. Right. I still have it in policy, but for online, we waive that. I don't know, because I don't know how to how to explain.
So what I do is I give them a discount. I give sibling discounts on registration. So I do $50 registration fee. And then if you have multiple kids, it's only $10 extra per kid. Oh, okay. So they don't have to pay $100 to register 2 kids. So that's their family discount. They feel like, okay, that's a good deal. And it's just extra money for the studio. What I use the registration fee is just to, you know, cover basic supplies, printer, ink, paper. We do theory packets. So that's all going back to the student, markers, pencils, the little things. That's what the registration fee goes to. I'm not taking any of that home. And I make that clear to them, and they understand. It's like, okay.
I know the expense, trust me.
No, but the thing is relaying that to the customer so that they're aware of, and it doesn't scare them off as much. And I think a $25 registration fee, that's not too bad. And then you could do like $5 per kid additional, and then call it your family discount or whatever. And then, but for, like online stuff, you could waive it and be like, hey, this is an extra service, but make sure that you're saying, hey, this is our fee, but due to everything that's going on, we're going to waive it for you. That kind of makes them feel like, oh, you're really looking out for our best interest here, even though you're going to waive it anyways. It's all about the way you present.
Right, I know. Can I ask you a question? So I have the siblings who are taking lessons with different teachers. It's 2 of them. And they asked me actually a couple of weeks ago, now that they're both taking lessons, is it possible for them to have some kind of discount? And I told them, you know, our prices are pretty low. So, you know, and they're like, okay, that's fine. So I know now that we're raising tuitions, they're probably going to ask that question again. And I'm thinking of giving them some kind of discount. Do you think it would be better to just give them like 10% off the other kid, or just keep their old rates?
I wouldn't give them a discount at all.
Okay.
I know it sucks.
It's the same. Yeah.
Unless, at least I wouldn't lead with it. If they ask you back, then you can make a decision and be like, hey, I understand that things are tough. So what I'll do is we'll offer you, I'm not sure how you structure your calendar, but like say if you do it by semester, then be like, I'll grant you the fall semester at the old rate or at 10% discount off the second kid, or however you want to present it. And then we'll revisit the topic the following semester. And if their situation has improved, like say if they say, we've been hurt from the job shutdowns or whatever, or we just don't make enough money right now, or we're not sure if he was going to stick around with it. Whatever the issue is, revisit that topic the following semester and then evaluate again and be like, okay, I think like they can pay the full thing, and then you increase them. You just say, hey, you've maxed out the scholarship, call it a scholarship, and then say, hey, now we're back to on track. So that kind of shows that you're invested in them, like you care about them and their personal situations, but you're still framing it in a way that it's not something that will go on forever. You're putting an end cap to it. And then you purposefully revisit that situation and have that discussion again. And then
yes, thank you. That's a wonderful point. Do you think, you know what, I made like a little text message that I'm going to send to all the students of like, you know, the other teachers, that, you know, we spent a lot of, you know, we invested a lot into renovations for the school to make, you know, to, like all the plexiglass, all that stuff that we made for the kids, you know, we bought extra instruments. But would that matter to them because they're online indefinitely? Like, should I not specify that to them?
No. So when you raise rates, you want to be as direct and to the point as possible. If people ask, then you can explain. It's like, well, why are we now raising rates? And they say, hey, because we're online, we have to pay for online teaching tools. We have to renovate the studio for cleanliness and sanitation costs and all this other stuff. And then you could give them a list if they ask. Most people won't ask and they don't care.